I've researched and tested dozens of online bank accounts over the last 7 years, and in this video, I'm sharing my picks for the top 3 options available today. I'll also explain the critical mistake that most people tend to make when trying to find the right option for themselves. Plus, I'll share some key pros and cons for each account on this list, so make sure to stick around until the end so you don't miss out on anything. Now, whether you're a complete beginner or somebody who just wants to find a better bank solution, this video is for you. So let's go. Before covering this list, for some quick context, these are all HYSAs or high yield savings accounts. These have risen in popularity in recent years as a safe alternative to the traditional brick and mortar banks. Reason being, these accounts tend to pay you a higher APY or interest rate as a depositor. With these accounts, there are a few critical things to know, and firstly, the APY you see is not locked in for the life of your account. These rates can and will change based on the overall economy. Secondly, the interest is considered taxable. You want to speak with a professional to fully understand your situation, but it's just something I wanted to flag. And then lastly, all of these options are banks and they're FDIC insured. I used a 4-part framework called RATE, R-A-T-E, to come up with these options. R stands for reputation. You want an account that is FDIC insured with a trusted institution. A stands for APY. You don't necessarily need to have the highest interest rate available, but it is a major advantage to having one of these accounts to begin with, so you want to make sure that there is a strong interest rate. T stands for terms. So you want no monthly maintenance fees, no minimum balance requirements. And then E stands for ease. So you want there to be a solid app to use. You want access to customer support. You want it to be straightforward and easy account to use. Links will be in the description for everything we go over today. Some of them will be affiliate links, so feel free to click those if you want to support the channel. Starting off, we have the account that I've actually had personally for the longest. And this is Marcus by Goldman Sachs. I believe this to be the best beginner-friendly option for somebody who's just starting to get into using an online savings account. Now, Marcus is the online consumer banking segment of Goldman Sachs Bank, and you may be familiar with this name because it's one of the top financial institutions in the world. This is perfect for somebody who wants to store their emergency fund, have a place as they save up to buy a house, to buy a car. It's basically a spot where you set your money, set it and forget it, earn high interest, and that's really it. Right now, there is a sign-up bonus, link in the description. Basically, you get an APY boost of 0.25% for 3 months. When it comes to APY, the rate is strong. I will say it's not the highest. You'll see different fintechs and different banks with higher rates, but it is much better than a traditional savings account, and it is one advantage to consider. This topic, though, does bring up one of the key mistakes that people tend to make with these accounts. A lot of people try to chase the highest APY available, and they give up certain features and certain things that they actually don't like about the bank account or the fintech in exchange for that high APY. You want a competitive rate, I totally agree with that, but I think it's more important to like the features, trust the account, follow that rate framework we talked about. Again, I really think that's more important overall. There's FDIC insurance up to $250,000 per depositor. This account is just a savings account. There's no checking account portion. Now, I will say if you're somebody who wants a complete banking solution where you can spend money, you can transfer from savings to checking, you'll want to keep watching later in the video where I have 2 options that are more of a complete banking solution. Customer support is 24/7. And then lastly, you have same day transfers up to 100K, and you start earning interest the day that transfer is received, even if the funds aren't immediately there that first day. Some cons to think about: there is, again, no checking account, and also there are no physical branches, but you do have that 24/7 customer support if anything comes up. Overall, this is a great option for somebody who wants a set it and forget it banking option, something that's simple. If this is something you're looking for, Marcus by Goldman Sachs could be the right option. This next account is probably the most popular, and for a few good reasons. By the way, link in the description if you want to download my free budget template. I built it using Google Sheets, and it imitates what businesses use as an income statement to track their finances, but it's something you can use as an individual. All right, next up we have SoFi Checking Savings. This can operate as a primary bank replacement because it includes both a checking and a savings account. There is a sign-up bonus right now. You can earn up to $300 as a banking bonus. If you want to go for this, you can click the link in the description. Things may change in the future, but right now here is the criteria. Basically, you'll need to set up direct deposit, and then once that first deposit amount hits your account, you have 25 days as an evaluation period. During this period, if you direct deposit $1,000 to $4,999.99, you get a $50 bonus, and if you direct deposit $5,000 or more, you'll get that full $300 bonus. When it comes to APY, the rate is solid. It's generally higher than Marcus by Goldman Sachs, but it might not be as high as some fintechs or some other banks you may see advertised. There is an important catch, though, if you want to receive this high advertised APY. That's because SoFi gives you 3 options or 3 criteria to make sure that you're eligible to receive this. Every 30 days, you have to meet at least one of these requirements. So firstly, you can have direct deposit set up. There's no minimum amount. Just make sure you're connected from your employer to SoFi for direct deposit, and you're good to go. The second way is to deposit $5,000 or more every 30 days. And then lastly, you can sign up for SoFi Plus. This has a $10 per month subscription fee, and there are some other benefits, but for the sake of this video, just understand that enrolling in that will allow you to get the high APY. If you don't follow these options, you'll currently only get 1% APY on the savings account, and the checking account, regardless, will always have 0.5%. By the way, let me know in the comment section if there's a specific bank that you'd like to use, or if there's any account you want want me to test or review in a video coming up. FDIC insurance is the standard $250K. We can also unlock up to $3 million in FDIC insurance by enrolling in the SoFi Insured Deposit Program. Basically, SoFi will spread your money across a network of partner banks, and this gives you the opportunity to have up to $3 million in FDIC insurance. With a checking account, you get 0.5% APY, and also you get access to a World Debit MasterCard. With this card, there are access to over 55,000 fee-free ATMs in the Allpoint network. Additionally, Zelle is supported, so you can send and receive money using Zelle. There's also something called Vaults, which is basically just a savings goal feature. Essentially, in the app, you can set up a specific target for something like a vacation, a house down payment, and you can allocate your savings and track as you reach these goals. And then lastly, there is the early paycheck feature. If you connect direct deposit, you have the ability to receive your paycheck up to 2 days early. As great as this perk is, you don't want to be reliant on having this early paycheck to meet your certain budget goals. And speaking of budgeting, if you want a free one-on-one review call with me, click the link in the description. We'll set up some time and go from there. Again, some cons, there are no physical locations. This is truly just an online banking solution. Also, once you create your account, you have to open both a checking and a savings account. You can't just have one or the other. The customer support is also not 24/7. And then lastly, the high APY is not automatic. Overall, if you're somebody who's tired of getting that low APY with a traditional bank and you want something more than just a savings account, SoFi Checking and Savings could be the right option for you. Lastly, we have Discover Online Banking. This is another checking and savings account offering, but your debit card spend actually earns you money. And I'll explain more in a moment. I do want to acknowledge that Capital One and Discover have merged, but nothing's changed for Discover customers. At this point in time, there's not a sign-up bonus, but I know in the past they've done things where if you deposit a certain amount, you get a cash bonus. So depending on when you're watching this video, you might want to look it up just to confirm. For APY, the rate is competitive, but it tends to be a little bit lower than SoFi or Marcus. Now let's talk about the standout feature of this account, which is the cashback debit card. Discover will send you a debit card, and when you spend money using this, you'll earn 1% back on up to $3,000 in purchases every single month. Said another way, for every $100 you spend, you get $1 back. Similar to SoFi, you have access to over 60,000 fee-free ATMs. FDIC insurance is a standard $250K per depositor. Another thing to call out when it comes to the checking and savings account combination, unlike SoFi, you don't have to open both. So you can just open a checking or just open a savings. Similarly, there is the early paycheck feature and Zelle is supported. Also, customer service is available 24/7. Now, another thing is there is an all-in-one platform. So if you're somebody who is already a Discover customer, maybe you have the Discover It credit card, you can continue using the Discover mobile app to have that credit card, to have your checking account, have your savings account. And it's good to have everything in that ecosystem if that's what you prefer. For cons, when it comes to the 1% cash back on your debit card, this is very beneficial, but in reality, there are 5% cashback credit cards with no annual fees where you'll see a more substantial amount come back in the form of cash back. And since you get the cash back on the debit card purchases, your checking account doesn't receive any APY. Then lastly, similar to every item on this list, there are no physical locations. There's actually one small random branch in Delaware, but for most people, it's online only. In summary, Marcus is probably the best account if you want something that's beginner friendly. If you need more of a complete banking solution though, I'd probably consider SoFi or Discover. And with that, I will see you in the next one.